briefest of glances can start the biggest romances. Our eyes were doing the dances and they were making advances. When our eyes met, I was like, hey, now I bet that Joe could be the one. Are you the one?
Hello, and welcome to Are You the One, your premiere The Circle podcast. I'm your host, Aubrey.
Also, the name of the show is called The Boom Boom Room, not Are You
Fuck!
the One? And I am your other expert,
Fuck!
Taylor.
Nope, hold on, we're doing it over.
Okay.
That was one of my best intros in a while. I knew there was something wrong.
You know, you nailed it, except for the words in it.
All right, I'm gonna hit play on my end, and you so.
Okay.
I like the lobster that you put.
Was it
I
mine?
know the lobster's from the show, but
Yeah.
I like that you focused on it, really.
It called to me.
Hello, and welcome to the Boom Boom Room, your premiere The Circle podcast. I'm your host, Aubrey.
And I'm your other expert, Taylor. I liked the
Wasn't
one where
it
you were
smooth?
wrong better.
Ugh, I did it much better, I agree.
I will just use both of them. Welcome back. We're back on schedule. We're nailing it. We've never been away, and we're talking about episodes 3 and 4. We're doubling up this season.
Yes, that way we won't be as behind by the time the season ends, which, by the way, I think it's already over. They air these episodes so fucking fast.
I know, and that's fine. I like doing doubles, because we're less behind, but also I feel like it lets us be a little bit more selective with what we talk about. We don't have to hit like every single beat, which is nice. We can sort of be like, all right. A lot of the first episode was not stuff was just kind of happening, right? Was that just my perception?
That's the show, mama. This show is clips after clips after clips.
I know, but sometimes they like are building into something, and sometimes it's just like, all right, and today happened. In episode 1.
So
yeah, no,
the first episode was kind of the fall of Rachel, I would argue. Not that she was ever really unfallen, but she was falling even more this episode.
I called it her heel turn, because really her status in the house stayed the same. It's just sort of how she was perceived that changed.
Well, but it went from like people just kind of like didn't vibe with Rachel to everyone's like, oh, Rachel is a catfish, to everyone being like, oh, Rachel is a catfish and also kind of a villain who I love or hate respectively.
I don't know.
So
I like her heel turn. Like I think this is weirdly enough not as bad for Rachel as it would be for anybody else.
It's good because she didn't have a personality before. And so now at least people will probably think like, well, this is at least the personality that she's been hiding.
Yeah.
Like, I get why she wasn't showing it. She's which I love, but I was very hard to watch because like it's such bad gameplay is the thing. But like, hey, she was probably gonna like. I respect it. She was where she was gonna leave.
I appreciate that she went no hold barred. Also, you're popping your P's like crazy, dog.
I don't know what that means.
Like the plosive sounds.
Yeah, but I don't know how to pop them any less.
So do we want to just get started at the beginning and pull away from Rachel a little bit?
Yeah. So the beginning was with Kevin Savannah, where I love the circle a little bit because there's this thing that happens where Savannah goes into a chat. She's like, I'm mad at Kevin. I don't know if I trust Kevin anymore. And Kevin's like, sorry, I still like you. She's like, okay, I like Kevin. It's like, stand up.
No, I think Savannah honestly did a better job of it than that. Like Kevin was very much still on notice with her. I think she did a smart move to like kind of play dumb and be like, "Oh, my hero, I love you," even if it's only kind of like half true now.
I agree, and also to be fair, I would have left that conversation being like, "Okay, I like Kevin. He seems like an idiot," which, to be fair, he does.
Yeah, he is.
So, well, also we'll talk about that. But yeah, so I mean they talk. It's not interesting if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And then Rachel, Gianna, and Jadeja talk. And that's at least mildly interesting because we start to see the turn of Rachel where she just says it right in the beginning. She is extremely blunt.
In this case, I think it was fine to just be like, all right, we want to know about the party. Because who is it? Jadesha even said like, well, yeah, this is what I also wanted to know. So
Yes, no, absolutely. And I don't know. I just find it very funny because I when this happened, I was like, oh, people are gonna think she's a boy because she's being way too direct. And later on, people thought she was a boy and also old.
people were already thinking that, but yeah, the directness probably didn't help.
No.
Although I don't know, Andy has said some things that if you knew he was a catfish, I think would have been like, oh, that's an obvious catfish thing. But because nobody is suspicious of him, it completely went ignored.
Oh, fully. I love Andy.
Andy's great. I'm really disappointed Andy is Team Kevin. Like, I get it, but I wish.
No, are you kidding? I fear I'm Team Kevin.
What?
Are you Team Rachel?
No, I'm Team Gianna, I think.
You're Team Gianna? Oh, that's wild. Okay.
We'll get there. Honestly, I'm if you want to be honest, I'm actually Team, who is it? Jadesha and is it Darian? Who are both the
Darian,
ones where it's like this. They're acting like children. What is going on?
That's actually wild. They're, I guess, second place for me. No, I don't know. They're interesting, but like my problem is I'm always weary of people who are like, well, this seems like too much drama. It's like, no, I like the drama. Like, I like that Rachel's here. I'm not rooting for her, but I am glad she's here to cause drama. And I'm glad that the girlies are fighting with the boys. And like, I don't want them to all get along, which is what Jadesha and Darian would do. So I'm glad that they're not taking the lead and they're just sort of sitting back and watching it all happen.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad they're not getting their way, but I appreciate their perspective. Also, I just like Jadesha in general. She came in maybe as like, oh, are you going to be no fun? And as far as I can tell, the answer is no. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Her guitar, beep boop 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 boop.
I mean, yeah, I like Jadesha honestly a lot more. Here's the thing: I don't care about Darian that much. Like I don't dislike him at anything. He's just like not a character who like stands out to me. Because Jadesha likes him, I like him.
I kind of agree. I'm waiting for Darian to get some more like focus and play a bigger role.
Hearing him talk about the other people as though they were his fucking students was like the first time I was really like, oh, I'm liking this. But by the way, we kind of skipped over it. Andy and Madeline talk and they're dating now.
Yeah.
Because that's what the show is everyone comes in and dates someone of the opposite gender, allegedly. And then that matters or it doesn't. It's weird that the show just also seconds as a dating show.
Even more so this season, and even more like immediately. I think we missed one or two, but it's really ramped. Have we missed one or two?
Well, it's Darian and Jadesha.
No, I mean seasons.
Darian and Jadesha. Oh, yeah, we missed one.
Yeah.
No, just the sixth one, I think. We'll go back and watch it, maybe.
Oh, no, we're definitely going to go back to it, but I had lost track of which one.
Let's talk about Kraypop.
Okay.
What a bad name for so many reasons. Like, okay, no, and I know this doesn't matter, and I know we don't normally talk about this. I hated the name of this game. So, because it's about pop culture, so pop, fine. It's Kraypop, why? It's not crazy. None of this was crazy, but fine, you have to make it exciting. This relates to K-pop in zero ways. There's not even a K-pop question. Why is it Kraypop?
Is that supposed to be like the word origin?
Yeah, because that's why it's Cray with a K.
I didn't catch that. I must have looked away.
It made me very upset because I was like, I don't know, whatever. Anyways,
I was as long as we're talking about the name, I was trying to figure out why it hit my ear weird, and it's because I just named my new D&D character Kraypop after a mushroom species.
That's wild. Did you actually?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I changed it to Weddy Kraypop.
That's wild. Like, Weddy is such a wild first name, by the way. But we'll talk about that later. All right. So the first question, who named their I was who named their D&D character. Who named
Haha,
their
I've
child
backdoored
some
this
dumb
into
shit.
a D&D podcast.
I mean, I would have a D&D podcast with you. You know that.
It's just such a saturated market, and I don't actually know how to play D&D.
And you wouldn't even do a RuPaul. Anyways.
It's such a saturated market.
Well, fair. It was who named their kid some dumb shit, and of course the answer is Elon Musk. And everyone but Rachel got it. That's embarrassing, I fear.
It's just always bad to be on your own, especially when people are already wondering about you.
Yet, like, you already were at the bottom of, like, the rankings. You cannot afford to stand out in any sort of negative way.
Yeah, because it's not like there's a reason for her to have gotten it wrong. Like, who is it? Gianna, I thought actually played the game fairly smartly, like strategically getting some questions wrong.
Yeah. The next question was about UFC and WWE, which I love gender roles. I love everyone being like, well, this is a boy question. And it's like, it's also like especially funny to me because like if I actually were to talk about the people I know, like either personally or even of who are like really into wrestling, it's like mostly girls actually. I know a weird amount of girls who are really into wrestling because it's like soap operas, and I don't know, but it was really funny because like Rachel got it right with all the boys. She's like catfish. But she's like, I like that she is like, well, I got it right because my brothers as Rachel. It was like no one else knows that. Like they don't know that your brothers like wrestling.
Yeah. No, Gianna, that's sort of what I mean. Like it's kind of weird, but you're almost playing the game of like assumptions about you, where you don't want to say things that counter an assumption necessarily. Because it makes you seem catfishy, even if there's an explanation for it.
That's very true. Then we got Madonna romance, and Madeline has an amazing quote, which is, "I know it's not George Clooney. He was a president."
Yeah,
but only Savannah and Garrett got it right. This is one that Rachel got wrong on purpose also, but I don't know what the point of this was. I guess to not seem old, which worked. Which
did it work though? I don't know. This was kind of, that question was just kind of a wash, I feel like.
I think yeah, if any of the heterosexual allegedly guys had gotten it, they maybe would have been like, "Is that a girl?" But no one did. The only guy who got it was Garrett, and he's gay.
He's allowed
to answer this question. he can answer the boy questions and the girl questions. It's kind of like cheating.
It's a superpower. I'm gonna catfish as a gay man. Never mind.
Like you do in your day-to-day life?
I thought I was gonna find a joke in there, and then I just said a sentence.
I mean, it's kind of funny if you know you, like, as a person.
I guess, but it's not...
Who regularly gets away with catfishing as a gay person.
No.
Not that you try, people just make assumptions.
I was gonna say, for it to be catfishing, I need to be putting an effort into seeming gay. I seem gay when I don't put effort into seeming straight. It's different.
I was about to say, I think the effort is that the lack of effort you're putting into appearing heterosexual.
I brought my car to get the tire plugged at the shop the other day, and I don't know. I felt this weird necessity to be like, to seem like I'm a man, you know? So I was trying to like look cool. And I don't
For the mechanic?
Yeah.
Woof, bud. Whoa.
I was in one of those environments where I felt the very rare feeling of like, well, I'm not masculine enough for this.
That's woof. I'm so sorry that you struggled through that.
I mean, it was funny. That's why I told you.
Oh, it's extremely funny. Don't get me wrong. And then the last one was about compliments, which one of these like acronyms is a compliment. Which it's wild to me that none of them knew these. Like these aren't. And maybe I'm revealing myself to be a person who's on the internet too much. NPC and TLDR. Like I get not knowing TLDR actually, but NPC. So many people didn't know NPC, and that's wild to me.
enough people didn't know so many of those that I did also have the thought of like, ooh, am I chronically online? I thought I was on one side of that where it was like, you're close, but you're fine. But the fact that I was genuinely surprised that none of them like knew all of these.
That's the
Because
other
I'm
thing,
like
is it
not
wasn't like,
cool. I don't know this shit. And I knew all of they gave you easy ones.
yeah,
The head bitch in charge might have taken me like a second if someone didn't say it immediately. But that's just because I don't roll with head bitches, I guess.
yeah, I don't know. This one was weird, but anyways, only Rachel got it wrong. Oh, and Kevin also got it wrong, being like NPC, which I thought was really funny. Because people were like, he feels like you should know that, which is like, that feels like you're saying, that feels like a judgment call. It was like, well, that's a boy thing. He should know this. And it's like, that's like a weird point to have, but whatever. But Rachel got it wrong, and that again makes her suspicious.
Yeah, not a great game for Rachel. It kind of only served to shine a further light on her. I don't think
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
else really had much happen as a result of it for them.
No, not at all. But so we come to the first episode's rating section. The only thing I actually want to point out was something that I thought was really funny as I was like, because I was like typing it out as it was happening, just sort of like as watching it passively, and it was Jadeja puts Darian first, who puts Kevin first, who puts Savannah first, who puts Kevin first.
That's funny. I
And that's
didn't
where that
catch
like
that.
chain ended. And it was
That's
just like,
good.
oh, I was like, oh man, I was really excited to see how like far we could go down this line.
To be honest, I kind of spaced out when the ratings happened a little bit. I
I mean, valid. They don't matter.
I used to pay a bit of attention to like who was placing who high and low and stuff, but I just feel so early. I don't know. I
I don't disagree. But then we get a boys chat.
Yeah, Andy, Kevin, Darian.
So we are missing Garrett from the boys chat.
Well.
Classic homophobia. No, I'm joking. But Kev was like, "Oh, I wanted to help Gianna feel better," and they were both like, "Oh, that's nice, I guess." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're all dating someone," and I was like, "This is weird. I hate that we're doing this, but I guess that's what this season is. Great, great, great."
It is notable only for the fact that Kevin talks about like Savannah, and we know how that
Yes.
goes.
Whoa, yeah. We get to the rankings.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're like, someone's already should have been eliminated at this point. And Rachel's like, well, I'm starting my flowchart now on what I think about people. That's insane. That's so late to the game.
Rachel's doing it Rachel's way.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, she moved up the rankings, I think, by technicality.
Yeah. Savannah came in last.
Which I was surprised
Rachel,
about, to be honest.
I was too. I guess, I mean, yeah, I guess it's just sort of that swing thing of like you were just an influencer, so people instinctively rate you a little bit lower, thinking that other people are going to rate you highly, and then you like drop it. Plus, Gianna fucking hates her.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right, but it's still, I was surprised she literally bottomed out, especially as compared to
Yes.
Rachel.
Yeah, well, I think, no, I agree. Rachel and Andy were tied for 5th. I hated saying Andy this low.
Sucks for Andy. She's
Sucks.
maybe my favorite right now.
Same. I love Andy. Andy's definitely like my favorite character, and like the person playing Andy.
That's the thing. Andy's character, I don't give a fuck about at all. Really boring. Andy, the girl playing him, she's fun. Seems like a cool person. Don't remember her name. Heather?
I don't think so, and I'm not gonna look it up because I'd have to get to my keyboard, which is too far away. So Jadeja gets 4th, Darian gets 3rd. Great. Perfectly safe. And then the influencers are Gianna in 2nd and Kevin in 1st. Which I saw Kevin getting 1st. I guessed that actually. So like slay. But when this happened, I was not expecting it to be nearly as combative as it ended up being.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is gonna be this was a turning point for the game. I think a lot changed here in terms of how it might have gone.
Absolutely. It's also really funny because at the beginning of the chat, Gianna, the twins were like, we could be Kevin's girl, metaphorically. And then by the end, they're like, I hate this man.
Yeah, that one fell apart pretty quickly.
No. So the chat is, kind of as expected. They both like Darian, he's safe. They both like Jadeja, she's safe. And then it's like, Andy, we're not sure about. Savannah, Kevin was like, I like her. She's my alliance. Which is like, why are you saying that, Kevin? You lied to her earlier today. I know you know how to lie. Why aren't you lying right now?
Even the Gianna boys called him out on that for being like, why are you showing us your cards? This is not how this is supposed to go. And yeah, it's like Kevin just decided now that he's an influencer, he was going to be honest, and it did not work for him.
I think he forgot that being number one doesn't actually mean anything more than being number two.
Yeah, you don't have more power.
Yeah. But so then we get to Rachel, and Gianna is like, absolutely not. That is the one person I am here to protect. Which is bad because Kevin has two people he has to protect.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If he was gonna lose, he made the right choice protecting the Bros Alliance, but still a bad look, I think.
The only thing I would have, and we don't know how long they talked about what they talked about. I think if you get to the point where it's like, you're not going to vote for Rachel, you're not going to let her leave. I don't want to let two of my people leave. And this is sort of how I always believe it kind of should be done, which is you don't save the people who are comfortable to save first. You save your number ones first. It's like very first thing I would have been like, oh, Savannah's safe. And then they would have been like, Rachel's safe. And then I would have been like, oh, Andy's safe. And it's like, and that sucks because I thought it was like and if I was Kevin, I would have been sort of trying to redirect towards Jadeja because I'm not in alliance with her. But to be fair, I don't think Gianna was going to go out of there without it being Andy or Savannah. I think they had something that they needed to have happen.
Yeah, no, they definitely won the negotiation, but the at-risk chat was fun because Rachel full heel turns at this point. This is the moment when she lets loose.
The fact that she opened it up being like, Kevin's a bitch. What are you doing?
They voted him
first.
top.
You have to understand, most of the people in this room like him.
And I think there was a way for her to do it that could have been read as almost like a, hey, please invite me into the Likes Kevin club. We haven't had the chance to talk. Let's
if she'd just been like, oh,
we
I
need to
haven't
talk
talked
about
to Kevin.
but instead it was like, all right, so what? Kevin fucking sucks. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, no, she should have been like, hey, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Kevin. Seems like you guys like him. Hopefully I'll get that chance. Because at least then you're sort of putting it out there that you want to be in the in crowd. And instead she opened up with, hey, I heard y'all like Kevin. Why? He sucks.
Which I agree, but you can't.
No,
say
I love
that.
Kevin. Are you kidding? You're wrong. And also Jadeja calling out Rachel, being like, and the reason you're missing out is because you're old. And it's like, I fear Jadeja isn't wrong, but I don't think she even knows how right she is.
Yeah. I also like Darian just jump in. It's like, well, we like him because we like him, It's like we like him.
Oh my god.
He's got a good vibe.
The fact that Darian was like, oh, well, he seems like a good guy and I like him. And she's like, he's probably acting like a good guy because it's the game. And it's like, yes, that's what we're all doing.
Except you.
Except you, which is wild. And the fact that she she went from 0 to 100 so fast. With this circle is not for the weak and I'm that bitch. Girl, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you fucking fighting ghosts? You're swinging in air.
The circle is not for the weak is my big contender for title right after yes, I'm that bitch. # all one word.
I agree. The circle is not for the weak is with not capitalized, by the way, in my opinion.
Yes.
Capital NOT, but no, oh my God. I had to pause. When I was watching this, I paused and I took a step away and I was like, oh my God. Because, like, beyond, like, it being, like, a wild thing, if I was Gianna and I went to bat for you, Rachel, and then I found out you, like, took shots at every other person in the fucking house, Rachel!
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing for Gianna is in order to win this whole thing with Kevin, she needs people, and, like, she's a likable person, but if Rachel's
She's
your
more
number
likable.
2, it's gonna fall apart
Right.
fast underneath you.
And your number 3 is barely there. Because, like, Jadeja was like, sure, I guess I'm a part of this alliance. She doesn't want to be there. She doesn't like Rachel either.
Yeah.
But the episode ends, but we go straight into the next one with Savannah being which I actually get why Kevin did this, if we're being honest. I do understand why this happened.
I understand. Look, if you were going to lose the negotiation, which he kind of did from square one, because he should have done it the way you said, where you save first as the person who has more people to save. You play that numbers game. But it was smart of him to protect his boys' alliance and get rid of Savannah. And I feel like he kind of got away with it more easily than he should. But also there was a whole fight that was more or less the rest of the episode, so maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah. I have complaints about the way he argued, but also, again, so my strategy, and again, I talk if I, like, am perfect at this game, because, like, I think your best case scenario in the situation, if you are Kevin, is you get rid of Jadeja, and then you're like, go to Darian, and you're like, hey, I wanted to get rid of Rachel, but, like, Gianna would not let it happen. And, like, Andy and Savannah saved me last week. So, like, I literally couldn't vote them, and I had to choose between you and Deja because of Gianna. Gianna made me. And I picked you because I like you. And it's like, you hope that is enough to, like, keep you in his good graces and turn him on Gianna. But, you know, there was no good choice because Kevin did a kind of dumb thing, which was make an alliance with literally everybody in the house except for Rachel, who was the one person who was getting saved.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Can we talk about Savannah coming to see him? Because
oh my God,
I don't understand why he's reacting the way he did the whole time.
I think he might have thought she was a catfish.
I figured he would have verbalized that, though. Instead, he just kept being weird. Like, I thought he would have at least said to her when he saw her, like, oh my God, you're real, or something, like anything. But I don't know. He just acted. I saw myself in him in a major way because he just seemed confused and scared and unable to, like, act appropriately social. But
see, okay, I think that also might have been an editing thing because, like, when they, like, got down to talking, he was like, was turned in and he was like, she hated you, and, like, he looked like he was about to spill, and so I feel like we just didn't get to see all of it, and they maybe edited him to be a little more dopey than he actually was, or he just actually is that dopey. Who knows?
It's possible he's getting the burp edit for dopiness, but I don't know. I don't know, Kevin, Mr. K Fern.
Yes. And I also like him being like, wait, you actually had a crush on me? Because here's what I think. I think he either thought, actually, no, I don't think he thought she was a catfish. I think he assumed that she was way too pretty and was just sort of like using him as an alliance in the game, which, like, he was fine with. He's doing the same. But he wasn't expecting her to, like, show up and be like, you could have had this. Like, I think that's what he wasn't expecting. And that's what sort of knocked him off kilter.
Maybe. There was also, I felt like a little bit of, like, he wasn't expecting her to be as hot in person, and she was.
That's also true.
And I could see why he would just kind of be silent about that, because he doesn't want to be the guy on TV who says, oh, you're actually hot, because that's bad. You can't say that.
You word that a different way, like, you're hotter in person. You're even hotter in person. But, then Savannah leaves her exit interview, as I'm decided to call it. And, mama, this is scathing.
Yeah.
this was so, hi, I'm leaving. Fuck Kevin. I hate Kevin. Kevin's a bitch. I mean, I don't like Gianna. She's a bitch. I hate Kevin. Fuck Kevin. And it's like, girl,
Trust nobody.
screaming. And then they get in the group chat. And so quickly, Gianna's like, well, I didn't have an alliance with her, so she wasn't talking about me.
Which is great.
And it's like, that's so great. So, okay, so if I was Kevin, here's the thing, is I don't know how much they're allowed to, like, talk about stuff, but I would have attempted, at least, to go in and be like, oh, okay, what happened was I wanted to eliminate Rachel because she's obviously a catfish, but someone didn't want to let that, like, refused to let that happen, and I was left to decide between two people, and so I made the decision to save Andy, which, like, sucked, but, like, that's because Gianna's protecting the catfish. And I guess that's sort of her prerogative. Which, I don't know, maybe that's a bit too scalded, but it's like, if we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight. Like, I'm not half fighting with you girlies.
I don't know. I got so lost in all of this at one point. Like, I was trying to keep track of the teams and stuff, and I got it in the end, but the argument felt like a mess.
Oh, well, and it was, and like, and again, I know they don't get to send that many messages, but it was, because like people were like saying stuff where she's like, I forgave Andy, blah blah blah, and it's like, if I'm Kevin, no, you didn't. You told me Savannah or Andy had to leave.
Yeah.
How is that forgiveness?
No, I agree.
And Kevin even actually, no, because Kevin does call Rachel a catfish. I mean, he says she's not real, but like, or he says he implies she's a catfish. I wonder if you could just like call them catfishes. I don't know. That's
you
weird.
can't. They've done that in the past. We had a whole plot line in the past where we decided we didn't care that someone was a catfish, which
also
I've been
very
arguing
true.
for ages. But
yes, this fight was like the closest you could get to like actual violence and throwing fists in this game. I feel like
I hit this part and I'm stuck in the weeds immediately again. It's like
well,
my brain stalls out.
Let's try to get past the weeds and go to Madeline starting a chat up with Kevin to basically be like, I'm on your side.
Before we get there, one thing in the chat that I did write down that was funny was Garrett jumping in the middle of it and being like, I think it would be great if our influencers could put up a united front. Like, please be friends. And then Kevin jumps right back in and is like, actually, I brought a bus with me and I'm going to put Gianna here in front of it. Is that united enough for you?
Well, okay. So
he
here's
just immediately keeps going with it.
Well, honestly, I would too. I'm heated. I'm not. No, fuck you. United Front, she fucking came at me first.
No,
she threw me under the bus first.
It was a silly message.
I'm driving the bus now. She tried to throw me under it, and now I'm going to run her over personally. Is how I feel, and I think how Kevin feels maybe a little bit. Because like that was the other thing. Is like skipping ahead a little bit. Garrett talks to Gianna and Rachel, and it's like, yeah, I really like that. Like you were like taking accountability, but like Gianna wasn't. Gianna was the person who wasn't taking accountability for it. Or, I mean, she wasn't. That she's like, yeah, I did that, but like whatever. But like Kevin's point was like, yeah, we both eliminated her. Like this isn't solely on me. When everyone's like pretending that it's solely on me. And I don't understand. And I guess it's because he's closer to her, but it's like, I don't know. That one, that's what I was like, that's why I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he's not not taking accountability. By you suggesting he has to take 100% of the blame, you're not taking accountability, even though I don't even think that's what you're trying to do. Which is what felt so weird to me about the fight, honestly.
I feel like Gianna's angle on it a little bit more was just like, Kevin voted out his alliance member. I voted out somebody I've never spoken to. These are not the same thing.
But yeah. And I agree, but I feel like that wasn't argued very well also. But, whatever.
I think a lot of it wasn't argued very well. I think people were actually just a little bit hot and trying to get messages in and stuff, and
they were.
It wasn't as thought out as they have been in the past.
So Madeline tells Kevin that, she's on Kevin's side, and then Gianna and Rachel are like, fuck, I guess we're fighting. We need to recruit someone. I know Garrett.
Yes.
Which it's interesting pointing it out. Jadasia's not in this chat. Because I think that's interesting. But
I don't know what you're getting at with that. Because
I'm saying
Darian
if it was
wasn't
gonna
in
be
the
like-
chat.
right, but they haven't been like, oh, because like they were like, we're gonna bring Garrett into like our little
Oh, the girls and gays, and like Jadasia isn't in there with the
not
girls.
all of the girls.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
But then while Garrett is talking to the girls, 2 of the 3 of them, I'm joking, Kevin and Andy invite him in to a chat with them, which, to be fair, at this point, I actually think what's happening is I think Jadasia and Darian might have been having their chat at the same time this was going on, and they just weren't available for these group chats, is what I started thinking as I was watching.
That's possible, but it's still, I don't know. I feel like even if that is the case, I feel like it's been produced better in the past to not make it seem like somebody's missing for a production reason.
Yeah, I agree.
Although I guess I didn't notice it until you pointed it out, so.
Yeah, and I don't know, I was just thinking about it.
No,
But
that's a
anyways-
very, from what I understand of how they do it, that could be a very real possibility.
So they invite Garrett in, they ban innuendo, they're the mermen, which I love Kevin's, I'm not sold on that. No, but we already did it. All right, no, we're the mermen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I appreciate, to be fair, I'm not sure I'm sold on it, but
I'm not.
it's what
at
we
all.
bought, so I guess we're having
Yeah.
it.
And Garrett's like, I feel like a fence sitter, and I'm going to continue being one. And it's like, good boy. Because I was really worried. He's like, I was really worried he was going to be like, I have to choose a side. And it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, no. He's in one of those like swing vote type positions where it gives you a lot of power, but there's also a lot of danger for it to just blow back on you.
Yeah.
And I like Garrett. I'm hoping he benefits from this and doesn't get tripped up.
Yeah. I agree. So we get the disruptor button. 4 people press it, but only Madeline and Rachel get it.
Well, before the
And-
disruptor, though, Jadasia and Darian do have
Oh,
a brief conversation.
boo.
Yeah, it's a romantic alliance. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say there.
I can't talk about romance anymore on the show, I fear. They seem to be like bonding on a very like actual level. They may legitimately date once they get out of the show, which is like cool for them. I want to watch people fight. I fear.
You're gonna have they are gonna do plenty of fighting, but you're gonna have a tough season, I think, not wanting to really dive deep into the romance angle.
If it's mostly on just this one couple, I can, because at least Kevin's lost his
That's true for now.
for now. But so Madeline and Rachel are the disruptors, and they are told that they're going to have to switch profiles. And Madeline comes out with but Rachel seems boring. Evil, I fear.
I love how they both hate it, like understandably, but it's just really funny that it's like, I don't know. This was a good disruptor mode because it's not
is.
explicitly bad. It's just disruptive.
It is, and because so I was thinking about the rules, and because it's like you have to survive the next blocking. So it's like my guess is that if one of them does get blocked, so like say Rachel got blocked on Madeline's account, Madeline would still be there the next day as Madeline, and they'd be like, actually, the disruption was that they switched, and that was Rachel, and you eliminated Rachel, not Madeline, and Madeline's still here. And I think that's what they'll do based off of the wording.
Ooh, I don't know. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, to be honest. I sort of figured whoever got blocked, but that would be interesting if it's like a twist on a twist.
Well, it's like the person behind the profile does get blocked, but like the profiles go back to the correct people afterwards.
I'm curious how they do it because I could see the profiles not going back. Also, I will be able to hear you, but I think the dog's at the door, so I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. I don't know, because I think the way they worded it is it's like you cannot get blocked, and also the way I'm suggesting keeps it from them just like nuking each other. Because otherwise, you could just like go and say like some terrible shit and like try really hard to get yourself blocked if you don't like that other person, which like would be funny, to be clear. And I do not think that's the show's like what they're hoping for, what they're trying to line up. So I think I'm reading it right. And if so, I think that's really fun because then you not only have to like pretend to be this other person, you kind of have to do it well. Because it's like, I cannot get blocked as Rachel. That sucks for Madeline. Like, people don't like Rachel. And now I have to make Rachel likable? Impossible. That's mean. That's, I fear, very mean. But, you know what I mean? And again, you're probably not allowed to tell anyone, but if you could, and this is because I'm a game player, and I'll admit that, I'm here to play the game. Because if I'm Madeline, and I'm on Rachel's little profile, and he's getting a call from Rachel, why? Because I'm Madeline, we switched profiles. And actually, I'm Madeline, and Madeline is Rachel. And so we need to get everyone to vote for Madeline on our side. And the other team won't know, so then Madeline's suddenly not doing well, and then we eliminate her. But it's not her, it's not me, it's her. But they probably wouldn't allow that. And also, this game doesn't work as well as other games with like talking strategy. It's a little bit harder to like coordinate.
Yeah.
But still, that's where my brain goes.
No, I really like the idea. I think like the next season they have a version of this twist. They would allow that because I think it's not cheating and like you could be lying, right? Imagine next season somebody who's doing poorly comes out and says, I got disrupted, I switched profiles, and I'm not the person you don't like anymore. And it's just a lie. And they're the same person. Like, can you imagine trying to pull something like that? That would be such a bold
lie, too. Because, like, you would have to, like, be like, you would have to convince them, too. And that's going to be the hard part, I fear.
At the same time, though, if someone tried to do that to me, I don't think I'd require as much evidence as maybe you'd think. Because it is such an insane thing to just make up.
That's like, true.
I don't know. I can see season 14 if the show becomes like Survivor, it getting really wild with stuff like that.
I hope the show does become. I want to see it. the metagame evolve. I love the metagame of the Circle.
Same.
But I'm. I don't know. I'm really excited to see them play each other and how it's going to work out and like what they are and aren't allowed to do. And I really hope Madeline doesn't end up getting kicked off the show because of it.
Me too. But also, I kind of hope Rachel, I don't know what this even means. I hope she does a really bad job because I think it'll be funny. Like a good faith job, but a bad job. Where everybody's like, why is Madeline talking like Rachel? Like an old man.
Yeah, no, I do not see Rachel getting out of this without making Madeline seem fucking crazy or something. And again, I wonder if like at the end it's going to be revealed if they do succeed. I imagine it will.
I don't know.
They'll at least be able to like tell other people. I don't know though. That'd be wild if they weren't.
The mystery
That'd be wild
of it,
if they had to keep this a secret.
They've done twists like that in the past where like you have to keep it a secret till the end. So I don't know. Not knowing exactly how it's implemented makes it hard to strategize and kind of fun.
Yes, I agree.
But we've done it. We're here at the end of our 2 episodes.
Yeah.
As always, thank you for listening. It's good to be back.
It is.
I'm vamping a little bit as I pull up our email, which shouldn't have anything in it, but technically is possible once again. Oh, wow. So I uploaded the podcast to YouTube because that's different now for reasons. And they blocked a lot of the episodes. So that's something to know.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Also, we can view our stats and insights on Amazon now. So that's something.
Slay. Oh, yeah, you're right. Andy was played by Heather, by the way.
That was good. Apparently, we're not on YouTube. We did not meet the spam and deceptive practices policy.
Is that maybe because you posted like a shitload of them at once?
It's literally how they told me to do it. They told me to upload it. They said it would take a long time to ingest all this stuff, so it's marked private. But when it's all there, mark it as public. Like there's a button to press publish and you're good to go. I did exactly what they told me to do.
That's wild. You should try again.
Yeah, there's like I think they actually like deleted our channel. So there's a whole appeals process, it looks like. So that sucks.
No, I mean, I'm still subscribed to the channel.
Okay, maybe they just removed the entire podcast then. We'll figure it out. Oh, never mind. The next email says we've reviewed your YouTube account and it turns out we're not in violation of their terms of service and they've lifted the suspension. It's
But
once
still
again
haven't
active
published
and
the videos.
operational.
Okay, cool.
So that was a roller coaster we all got to go on together.
That was fun. That was
Yeah.
exciting.
That's the email
All
for this
right.
week. tbbrpodcast@gmail.com if you feel like getting in on the action. But until then, we want to swallow down a nice moral from Aubrey to keep us satisfied until next week.
Oh, you want me to moralize this?
Oh no, we do immorals because it's a good show.
No, we do morals. I guess we do whatever I'm feeling at this point.
Well, yeah. So hit us with an ethical thought.
My moral for this week is, and I think this is something that we can all relate to, that sometimes, you don't perform your best in front of people, and sometimes, you sort of like accidentally sort of other yourself, and that can be a very difficult position to be in. And if you ever make a mistake and you feel like you've made a mistake, go on the offense. Just attack everyone around you. Like, really hone in on their problems, and then no one's looking at your problems. Or if they are, they're looking at the problem that you're mean. And that's fine. Everyone can be mean. So, that's not, like, deeply personal, like the other mistake you clearly made in front of them.
Hell yeah.
A good defense is a good offense or whatever. I don't know what that one is. I'll be honest. Bye.
Bye.
Don't need you to like me, don't need you to like. You can watch me